This is the It's Called Soccer Champions League Mailbag, brought to you by our partners FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So let's get into it. It's the looking at the Champions League final at the weekend, and we're going to look at some of the questions we've got here. Who's outperformed expectations more, Inzaghi or Luis Enrique? At the start of the competition, I thought Inter Milan were one of the... There was only 4 or 5 teams I felt could win it, and I felt Inter Milan were one of them. I didn't think PSG were one of them. So on the back of that, I'd have to say PSG have certainly outperformed expectations more than I thought they would. So I'd go for Luis Enrique on that one. Are PSG better without Kylian Mbappe? I mean, can anyone be better without Mbappe? It's very difficult. We shouldn't forget Mbappe got to a final, I think, with the PSG a few years ago as well. Got to a semi-final last year. But there's no doubt for me, PSG are a better team. Not just without Mbappe, but without Neymar and Messi and all those superstars they had a few years ago. So I'd probably side on the... I'd be on the side of saying yes. Does Inter Milan losing out on Serie A affect their chances of winning the Champions League final? I don't think it does too much. I think Inter Milan have won the title before. I think they're desperate for the Champions League. I think it would have been slightly better if they'd have won the league. It just, you maybe feel in a better mood. But I don't think it'll shift the focus too much. I don't think it'll have too much bearing on it. Favourite player from PSG and Inter Milan this season? I would say my favourite player for PSG has been Vitinha in midfield. I think he's been outstanding. And for me, I think he's arguably been the best midfield player in the Champions League this season. I think for Inter Milan, I love the fact he played with a front two. You've got Thuram up there, who's done a really good job alongside Martinez. So I'm going to go with Lautaro Martinez. I think he's maybe been the best centre-forward in the competition as well this season. I think he's one of the best centre-forwards in world football, and I'm going to go with him. If you could have lifted the European Cup with any other club, who and why? I would say AC Milan. I played them famously in 2 finals. It's not that. It's just that when I was growing up, they were the European Cup team. The late 80s, early 90s when I was a young kid. And they were the team. The kit was amazing. I loved the players. Baresi, Maldini, Van Basten, Ruud Gullit. So I would go with AC Milan. All right, we're going to have a little bit of a chit-chat now about this season. And also 2 players who've dominated the Champions League over the last decade. I think you'll know who they are. Who's been this season's Champions League MVP? Wow. I'm finding it difficult to pick someone who just jumps out at me. I think in Inter Milan and PSG, we've got 2 great teams. Individuals, I'm thinking of Dembele, I'm thinking of Martinez, I'm thinking of Vitinha in midfield as well. I think the fullbacks for PSG are outstanding. You know what? I'm going to go with Lamine Yamal. I just think his performances this year, the age of him, I know he's not in the final, but he deserves to be in the final. And his performances in the Champions League semi-finals were outstanding. So I'm going to go for Yamal. The new format of the Champions League, has it been a success or a failure? I'd say it's been a huge success. I think there was a lot of people looking at it, not quite sure how it was going to work. I think it takes a little bit to get your head around the fact that you don't play a team home and away. But I think the league format was a huge success and kept, every game almost mattered, almost right to the wire. We've seen some top teams as well going into those last 2 or 3 games, desperate for points. PSG being one of them, who didn't make a great start to the tournament or the new league phase. So I think it's been a massive, and I wouldn't say massive improvement, but I think it's been a change that was needed. It's different, and yes, it's been a huge success. Messi or Ronaldo, who had the better Champions League career? Oh, that is interesting. I would say Ronaldo. I would always answer Messi as the better player, but if you're just looking at Champions League, I think Ronaldo's obviously won it with 2 different clubs. I think Ronaldo may have won it more times for Real Madrid than Messi did with Barcelona. Don't quote me on that, but that is in my head at the moment. Yeah, I'll go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Now on to the TV stuff. That's where I come into it. And what's been happening behind the scenes on CBS. So you've interviewed a ton of players on CBS. Who has stood out the most? Oh. We actually get Thuram on a lot from Inter Milan because Thierry knows him really well. So we're allowed to get that in. Thomas Muller was a great character this season. We've had Arne Slot on as well. Luis Enrique at this moment won't speak to us because last season I was in Dortmund when his team lost to Borussia Dortmund. PSG lost, and I was in the mix zone with a Borussia Dortmund scarf on. So that didn't go down particularly well with Lewis. Trying to think who else we've interviewed now. We actually interviewed James Maddison. That was for the Europa League after Tottenham won against Man United. And that may have actually been the funniest, actually. He was really good. We had a good laugh on there. So I'll go with James Maddison. What goal did you celebrate the most on CBS this season? That would have been... it was Liverpool's in PSG. It was Darwin Núñez, wasn't it? Was it Núñez or did Núñez set it up? I can't believe I forgot that. But I remember Núñez getting the ball and I said, this madman can score here. But I think he passed it. Harvey Elliott. Sorry, Harvey. But I'm going to go with that goal because it was more the... I was getting makeup at the time and waiting for it. It was later on in the game, so we had a good celebration. What's been the most unexpected or hilarious moment during your Champions League nights on CBS this season? Speed, yes. What was his real name? Darren Watkins. Darren Watkins coming on CBS. Let's just say we put him... I know he's speed, but we put him on the back foot a little bit. I had a race with him. Did okay in the race, but he come in. He was quite entertaining, done a little backflip off the table. So, yeah, madness as usual on CBS. Right, let's have a little couple of moments of my time or questions on my time in the Champions League with Liverpool. Would you trade your Champions League winners medal for a league title? Absolutely not. Not a chance. If someone offered me 3 leagues for my Champions League medal, that's the question. It's not 1, it's not 2. 3 or 4, maybe, but it'd have to be a lot because it's not just winning the Champions League, it's how we won it. It's a final that's remembered. It will be remembered forever. So I think it'd take an awful lot. So definitely not 1, definitely not 2, maybe 3 or 4. In the 2005 Champions League final, who was set to take the final penalty? That was Steven Gerrard. And the reason was because Rafa Benitez always felt the player taking the 5th penalty, that was almost a pressure penalty to either win your team the cup or keep your team in the shootout. So it was always not necessarily who your best penalty taker was, but who could handle the pressure most. That was Rafa's feelings on it, and that's why Steven Gerrard was number 5 and didn't actually take one in the final. And finally, who is winning the Champions League final on Saturday? I can actually see both teams winning. I do really think this is a toss of a coin. I actually hope PSG just do it because I think they've been more entertaining as a team this season, and they knock Liverpool out, so it's always nice if you get knocked out by a team to say you lost to the winners. But I'd absolutely be delighted for Inter Milan as well. I think the manager's fantastic. He's been to a final before. They were very unfortunate against Man City. So for me, I'm definitely there as a neutral. That's not always the case when there's an English team involved, but I'm definitely there as a neutral. I'm just going to enjoy the final, and whoever wins, may the best team win. That was It's Called Soccer's Champions League Final Mailbag, brought to you by our partners FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So get your picks in. To lift the cup, anytime goal scorer and correct score after 90 minutes. All on FanDuel. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. And if you're already a customer, FanDuel is giving out Profit Boost tokens each weekend on any parlay or same game parlay. Visit FanDuel.com/ICS or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get in on the action. And drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments. We want to hear from you. Make every moment more with FanDuel. America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online, real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.